Hi, everybody. Okay, so, my mom and sister have encouraged me to give a little update. So on June 28th, I decided to start just a little vlog to kind of hold myself accountable for getting my life in check with my physical health, mental health, financial health, and spiritual health. And then in the middle of July, my life took a nosedive. So, for those of you who are not really sure what I'm talking about, in the middle of July, I just wasn't feeling well. Had a headache. I had gone to my great niece's first birthday party and I left early. I didn't feel well. I had a headache. And this was on a Sunday. So, on that Monday, I felt horrible and I started throwing up. And so I threw up Monday night. I threw up Tuesday. This would have been the 11th, I think. On that Wednesday, the 12th, I took myself to urgent treatment. Now, a lot of this I'm piecing together from things that my family and my friends have told me because I don't have a lot of memory of this. I was really sick. I'm not one who typically throws up, but I've been throwing up for days at this point. So I went to urgent treatment to get a prescription for some Phenergan or something to stop the nausea. And I got it, evidently. I remember going to urgent treatment. This was on a Wednesday. I remember going to urgent treatment. I remember them testing me for COVID and for flu A and B. And that's kind of all I remember about that. My mom told me that when I left there, I called her and talked to her while I went through the McDonald's drive-thru and got a Diet Coke. I don't remember any of that. I got home. My very dear friend had said that she would go pick up my medicine for me at the pharmacy. And she went and picked up my medicine. And I told her when she brought it over to put it in the garage because I didn't want her near me if this was a stomach bug. I remember opening my garage door and seeing her at the back of my car. That's all I remember. Evidently, I took one of the pills. Don't remember it at all. So my sister had been trying to reach me. My two very dear friends had been trying to reach me. My mom had been trying to reach me. Nobody could get a hold of me. And I'm not the girl who just doesn't answer texts. I might respond and be like, you know what, I don't feel good, I'm going to sleep. Or I might just say, I'll get back with you later. But I don't just ignore messages as a general rule, especially not from my family and my close friends. And so they had been trying overnight to get a hold of me and they got nothing. So the next morning, this was on a Thursday morning, the 13th, my sister had started calling me about midnight. She couldn't get a hold of me. My parents had gotten up and had, taken showers. They were coming up to check on me. Now, they live 100 miles away, but they hadn't been able to get a hold of me. And my mom was really concerned. And so my parents were like, well, let's just go check. Well, at this time, my friend had contacted my sister. They were like, have you heard from her? No, I haven't. And then my other friend was going to head into work. And she said, well, I'll swing by and check on her. And she could see me on the couch, but she couldn't get me to come to the door. So my sister, they were on a three-way call. My sister gave her the code to get in my garage. And she came in and found me completely unresponsive. Evidently, my eyes were kind of rolled back and it was very labored breathing. So she called 911, and I'm very thankful for that. When the paramedics got here, my friend was able to tell him she's a type 2 diabetic. Now, I had gone to the doctor just 2 or 3 weeks before that for a regular checkup, and my numbers were all good, when I had gone for just my regular checkup. So they took me to the hospital. And so here's the thing. I have seen in the past week or so the pictures of me coming out of the back of the ambulance, they didn't even take the time to put, like, there was no oxygen on me or anything. Like, I guess it was just, we got to get her to the hospital. Well, I spent 8 days in a coma on total life support in ICU. The doctors, wouldn't give my parents any hope. They just said, she's a very sick girl and we're trying to help her survive, basically. Once I started coming out of it, I was on a vent, total life support. They said at one point there were 15 to 17 bags of things to hook to me. My kidneys completely shut down and I was so swollen, like massive. My fingers wouldn't bend. My sister said when you touched my skin, it didn't even feel like skin. They had to put me on 24-hour dialysis because my kidneys shut down and I was so swollen. And after I started coming, now I will make more videos talking about what I remember and the weird things that happened while I was in there, but these people saved my life. But they told my family once I started coming out of it that you don't come into the hospital, into the ER with the numbers that I had and leave the emergency room. And if you do, you go to ICU and you maybe make it 3 days. Well, I went through all of this for 8 days and then I was moved to a regular room for a couple more weeks with the best nursing staff you could ever ask for, the best CNAs, the best people. I'm just telling you, best people ever taking care of me. Giving thanks to God, I had people praying for me, people that I don't even know. My work family came together, and I will talk more about this in future videos. But the fact that A, I survived, B, I was, able to, once they moved me to a regular room, that first night, I had a wonderful nurse who was also a physical therapist who helped me get up and go to the bathroom. It was first time my feet had been on the floor in 8 days. But she helped me do that. My kidneys still not working. I was still doing dialysis 3 days a week, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They were pulling so much fluid off of me that I would shiver and I would dry heave and, just stomach acids, and it was awful, but I was alive. 4:30 every morning, they'd come in and draw blood, and then I went to a rehab facility for a couple of weeks to try to get my strength back, working with occupational therapist and a physical therapist. The most amazing friends, I'm telling you. I will get into that at a later time. But after, 3-ish weeks in the hospital and 2 weeks in rehab, I was able to come home. I'm getting my strength back. My stamina isn't quite there yet. I can go out to dinner with friends or whatever, go spend a little time with friends. But then I come home and I'm done. I have to rest. If I spend several hours out, then the next day I'm probably not getting out of the recliner and I'm probably going to nap. But it put me in this vomiting through my electrolytes so far off. I ended up in diabetic ketoacidosis, and I want to make sure that other people learn from things that happened to me, so you don't ever have to go through this. I'm off dialysis now, but I did have to, even after, I was still going to dialysis 3 days a week from rehab, and once they determined that my kidneys, because I had acute kidney injury, and so my kidneys have re-engaged. There's always a chance I'll go back onto dialysis, but the tunnel catheter was removed a couple of weeks ago. It's still kind of sore because, it was pretty deep in my chest, mostly because of how swollen I was, I think. But I don't know. In radiology, when they removed it, they said it was really in there, so it's still kind of sore. But now it's, obviously I will see nephrologists to keep an eye on my kidney function. I have an appointment with an endocrinologist, so because now I am having to do a nightly insulin, injection. We can't get me back on the oral meds for diabetes yet because it works through your kidneys, and we got to be very careful there. But I had a nurse in ICU who she was taking me down to to nuclear medicine to get the dialysis port put in. And she was so upset. She said the first thing they should tell newly diagnosed diabetics is you've got to watch your electrolytes, because my electrolytes were so off, that it pushed my my blood sugar up past 500. And who knows how long it had been since I'd eaten, so it wasn't food doing it. I was so out. We don't know how long I was out before my friend found me. We have no idea, because I don't remember even taking that one vinegar. I don't even remember doing that. So there will be more videos coming from what I learned, but I'm going to tell you the big thing that I've learned right now is that God is still a God of miracles. I am not supposed to be alive. Based on medical science, I am not supposed to be alive right now. But I'm alive and I'm walking, and, next week I will be returning to work part-time, just short periods every other day, but kind of working my way back in. I'm beginning to be able, not every day yet, but the days that I'm feeling it, I'm able to walk a mile. But this is all God. This is God, and this is prayers from so many people I don't know, people I wasn't even really sure like me very much, people that I love, my colleagues. It's been amazing. So you'll get more on that. I'm going to tell you, this is, I slept through the hardest part of it, because I was out. But it was so, what my family and friends went through with this, I wouldn't wish on anybody. I'm so blessed and so thankful for these people that they cared enough about me to check on me. They cared enough about me to sit with me. My friends, they stayed at the hospital with me, waiting for my parents to get there, stayed with me for hours. Friends from my childhood came to see me. It's amazing the support that I have, but you don't want any part of this. You don't want any part of this. So please learn from what I didn't know, that if you're sick and you're throwing up and you're diabetic, especially, go to the doctor. Don't just think it's just a stomach bug, I'll get past it. Your electrolytes are important. They can affect your blood sugar. I didn't know until this that if you don't eat breakfast with type 2 diabetics, I don't know about type 1. I'm struggling enough to learn about type 2. That if you don't eat breakfast, it can actually increase your blood sugar, your glucose level the rest of the day. So new things I'm learning that I want to pass along. I want to let you know kind of what it's like to be on total life support and in a coma, and the hallucinations and what I did or did not know was going on while I was in there. But anyway, just quick update. I am still working on, this gave me a kickstart into spiritual health for sure. But and physical health. But, this is kind of why there's been quite this hiatus, because it's been 11 weeks, 12 weeks today? 12 weeks today, I guess, since this happened. So anyway, that's just kind of a start for what to expect coming up. Just a little update on the last 3 months of my life. But you know what the important word there is? Life. Have a good night or day, whatever time it is. Thanks.